Hello and welcome back to Just James Games. We are going to start with Bombman. We just got Fireman's ability in the previous episode. So, fire ignites bombs. Makes perfect sense to me. It actually makes me kind of wonder later on in the series how things like Snake Man and Clown Man and such, kind of fit together in the synergies, but that's what the internet's for, helping find that. Must have been totally difficult back when these games were actually made and the internet was a different story. But as you can see, I have now added the background, so it's not a blank dark screen all around. I didn't really know what I was doing when I started this. Just wanted to get recording. But I didn't really see what it was going to look like. Small screen and a big dark borders for anyone that had the widescreen TV, which I believe 90% of America does. Possibly the entire world that will be watching this video, but at least everybody I know and could possibly know, ever since they changed the way a cable works here in the United States, everyone had to switch to a new TV, and they're really cheap these days. So I can't imagine anybody really having CRTs anymore, but you never know. So the background will actually fit now. It won't be a bunch of just dead negative space, and I considered changing that, replaying past or through the first 4 bosses again, but this is my first video, this is my first series on my channel. I'm allowed to make mistakes. I'm allowed to make some mistakes months and years after I've had this channel, but I don't want to strive so hard for perfection that I just don't produce anything. I've actually been striving to perfection for almost 2 months now. I've had the equipment, I've done the work, and I've redone multiple times, just trying to achieve that perfection, and eventually something's got to give. I haven't done this before. I have literally no experience in this. So I need to just do it and not be so critical on myself. And I am incredibly critical on myself. By far the most critical of the comments will always be what goes on in my head, and all of the pain and suffering I do to myself before this is even uploaded. Yeah. Fireman's ability. Shown immensely right there. What's really fun is in this little tunnel when we go through this, when I originally played through this, I thought, it'd be fun. Maybe you can just fall like literally all the way through and not get hurt. And it's possible, but I tried it once, which isn't shown in this video, and I fell and got hit once, and I was like, it's good enough. So, Fireman's ability works about as good as Iceman's ability worked on Fireman. It doesn't kill them in like 3 shots or anything, but still kills them pretty quick. I have to say, I think Bombman's ability in this game is by far the most awkward, because you just throw this thing out there and then wait 2 seconds and then it explodes. And everything else is just instant, fires instantly. Here's a firebolt, here's a electric bolt, here's a pair of scissors. And then there's this bomb that just randomly explodes. It's not random, it's 2 seconds later. But here we come to Gutsman stage. Have to say, these lovely platforms caused me immense amount of issues, as you'll see in the death montage at the end of the series. This is kind of ridiculous how this all works, but the progression here is actually really smart. This is the way that games are, or were, made back then. There wasn't prompts or guidebooks or anything that just walk you through the game like most of the games are made today. It just shows you, hey, here's a simple way. It gets slightly more complicated and then a lot more complicated. This is explained very well in Aaron Hansen Sequelitis. He explains this stage in particular, as well as, you know, the whole kind of Mega Man idea of how it just naturally shows you how to play the game. Which, you know, these days, games don't do that. Games don't actually show you how to play, they tell you. It goes both ways. Honestly, I've been playing games since ColecoVision, so and board games, so it's hard to know which side's best, but so we got Bombman's ability in the previous. Here we are with Gutsman. It's like I said, these weapons or this weapon is a little awkward, especially how he shakes you constantly. Oh my goodness. And I love how like the shaking noise like gets rid of the music. It's like, this is such an annoying disruption that I'm gonna ruin the music in the background too. But, you know, 3 hits, he's gone, just like normal. So, these 2 stages are actually pretty short. So I went back to Elecman stage so I can get that one item that makes platforms. Oddly enough, the last 2 stages seem to be by far the shortest, because I was able to do 2 episodes completely edited, all the deaths gone and everything, with just 2 of the robot bosses, and Bombman and Gutsman, simple. Those were done in, what, like 7 minutes? So, I show this again. It was kind of a tear in between me. Should I really re-show this? But, you know, honestly, like I said originally, this is my favorite stage in this game with my favorite music. So, yes, I kind of wanted to. And for maybe the one person in the world that actually hasn't seen a Mega Man playthrough, you know, I'm sure there's more than one. I'm just being facetious. But maybe they didn't know about this item or what it does. And if they actually want to play this game and they're going to use my playthrough as a staging device or a somewhat walkthrough, then, you know, I want to do my due diligence and not just kind of say, hey, I went back to this stage and got this item, here's a picture, la-di-da. Besides, playing through the stage again after kind of struggling through it for the first time is reasonably easy. So, I actually went a little bit of a different way this time compared to my first playthrough. Well, not this part, that's actually the next part, but because I wanted to show what the ability did. And that box, like right by the stairs there to the left, right where I'm standing next to now, that box is actually one of the boxes that used for Gutsman's ability to remove the boxes. I mean, it looks slightly different than everything else, but I mean, honestly, I don't remember how we just knew this worked, because you know, you go to the little G and you try to use Gutsman's ability, and it just does nothing. And you're like, oh, okay, that's that's weird. I don't know why that works like that. But, yeah, it's just a slightly different colored box. And it just somehow works. I believe that if I was to take a honest guess, the way that Dr. Wily's level is set up, when you start it out, you use Gutsman's ability to get through boxes in order to get through to the first part of your path. So if that's the very first time that it's actually vitally necessary, I mean, you would I would go through all of the different abilities and see what the hell, and none of these work, and then all of a sudden the block would flash, and bam, then I would know. And then I get to the part where I need that thing I got in this stage, and, well, I'd have to go back anyway. So, once again, doing this stage again, reasonably easy. Man, those guys get me almost every single time. Already done this, got all my abilities. Should be relatively piece of cake. I remember one of the times I played through, I actually screwed up just royally on this part, and I did it absolutely perfect the first time. And when I went through at one of the times after that, I just could not get past it. My timing was just off for some reason. And it's just absolutely horrible. So here we are, doing this stage yet again. 3 hits, and he's gone. Seems slightly more difficult than last time, but anyway, it's all done. We are all set. We got all of our abilities, and we can finally take on Dr. Wily stages. So, the first part of that will be in the next episode. Thank you so much for watching.